So right now we're gonna do the skull, and I'm gonna also do it as a candy bucket, which is super fun. We're gonna wanna use our black again. This is also really good with purple. And I'm gonna splodge again to make the face a little bit more three-dimensional. Same thing that we've done before. With eyes and nose, so that it has a little bit of a dimension to it. And I'm also going to take my black icing and I'm going to make a mouth. Super easy, just a line and some little lines there. So I'm going to let those dry for me just a smidge. And while I do, I'm going to start the pumpkin bucket. Now you can do this any color you want. You don't have to do it as a pumpkin. Set you off to the side of it. But it's just kind of fun, I think, to do it as a pumpkin. So a three-dimensional bucket is going to have a curve. Oops, get it hooked on there. Comes down here where we can see the treats inside. And this is super fun because you get to do sprinkles. So that's the first thing I like to do, is to make my little curved line here. And then I will start to pumpkin it. So I'll make it just like we did before with the actual pumpkin. I'll make it have sections. And then I'm going to make my inside of my pumpkin. You can do anything you want for this. You can make it orange or you can make it black. You look at what my sprinkles are. They're a mix. They've got orange and black and purple, so you can kind of do whatever you'd like. But I like to do that at the end so that it looks like they're spilling over the outside of my bucket. So I'm just filling in every other section. So while we give that a second to work, we can come back to our skeleton head, skull. I knew there was a word for it. So skeleton heads, they need eyes. And they can be kind of any shape. You can make them more realistic or not. And what tends to work well for skeleton, noses is upside down hearts. They kind of make the little nasal cavity a little. And you'll see when we fill in. But it's hard sometimes to picture it in your head upside down. So I just flipped the cookie. So now I'm going to outline. to fill in. I'm just going to take a moment here before I get to the detail work of the teeth and just swirl this guy out to the edges. And I'm sorry if this is not very elegant looking the way I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it without looking at the screen or blocking the view of the camera. So if you see any bubbles, you are welcome to pop them. They usually show themselves within just a couple seconds as dark spots. But sometimes I just want to keep them in the skull cookies. So it kind of looks like little pock marks or something. So now I'm going to come back through. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to carefully kind of come down near that. And I'm just going to use the scribe tool to come up to it, just to kind of sneak right up to that black. And I can go over the black again, just for final detail, but this gives it a little bit more, sorry bubble, this gives it a little bit more depth to have it underneath too, so you're not just going over. Now you're also welcome to completely just fill it in and not make this black line ahead of time. And you can put a smile or this black line on top. I just like how it looks with a little bit of extra depth. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, just kind of squishing in, squishing in, squishing in. You don't want to put too much because you don't want it to flood over the edge, and it's hard to come up to your line if you've got too much in there that's slurping out. So we're just kind of using our stick to assist the icing in moving towards the other icing. Get that edge good. And you will probably have an easier time of this because you are over the cookie. Do a little bit more. Oops. So I see that right there. You can see I've gone over my line a little bit. I'm just going to wipe off my scribe. And I'm going to come back through and just kind of wipe that off. Then it'll settle so that my black line will come back all nice and cute. And so then you've got this totally cute little skull. Now you can make his eyes bigger. I just do kind of like the cartoony aspect of it when he's got a little face. And I think we're probably close to enough time to come in. We might meld a little. So I might, in future, like if you're doing this on yours, I might wait just a smidgen longer, but I want to show you what to do. So in order to keep the sections, yeah, it's a little wet. In order to keep those sections completely separate, you'll wait till they dry a little longer. But I want you to see how it looks coming together. Oops. We'll stick piece of candy there. And again, my scribe. The scribe tool is the best thing ever for cookies. These little toothpicks. Okay, so now normally I would have you hold off on doing anything here just because we're still a little wet, but for the purposes of the video, I'm going to make the opening here. And I don't want to fill it too full because I don't want it to kind of blurb over. When I put sprinkles in, because sprinkles, whoops, I accidentally smashed our poor skeleton with my hand. Oh, I'm sorry, skeleton. Usually I don't have decorated cookies hanging out right there. So I'm gonna grab a little spoon. So that I can just kind of place them. But if you let it dry first before you do anything, you will be able to just drop them on there and it won't mess up your orange ones because they'll be dry. So you can just fill in however much candy you want with your sprinkles. And then I also like to use the fancy sprinkles, but be really specific with how I place them. But you're welcome to just jump it all in. And then I'll also do stuff like, if I've made a mistake here, like that, I will make sure that I add some sprinkles down there. Like, and I would do it when everything was dry, except for my black. Sprinkles are fun. And then the last piece is a handle so that you can carry all your goodies home. And kind of use your scribe to get rid of anything. Oh my gosh, I've done it again. I'm just gonna move him before I kill that poor skeleton. And then you just use, I use black, but you can use orange, so that when you get your goodies, you can carry them. And there you have a treat bucket and a skeleton that I've smushed. But you know what, it's gonna be yummy anyway. Thanks so much.